For 75 years, Mass Audubon has had an outpost in Easthampton and Northampton with the Arcadia Wildlife Sanctuary. And since their annual Winter Solstice celebration was pushed back from December 21st to the first Friday of the new year, it gave Connecting Point's Brian Sullivan a chance to check out the bonfire and hit some of the trails for himself. He shares the trip with us.
The sight of silhouettes illuminated by a blazing inferno is usually reserved for December 21st at Mass Audubon's Arcadia Wildlife Sanctuary. Normally, it's the annual bonfire to celebrate the Winter Solstice. It's been happening here since the late 1990s, only the 2018 date was pushed back a couple of weeks to January 4th of 2019 due to weather. So, rather than end the calendar year with a flourish of sparks, flames, and some dancing, this was more a way of welcoming in the new year, which to me only seemed appropriate since 2019 marks the 75th year of Arcadia's existence. With its visitor center located in Easthampton, this is just one of over 60 Mass Audubon sanctuaries here in the Bay State. To get a better idea of all that it has to offer, I ventured out into the forest to take a first-hand look.
800 years ago, this would have been the Connecticut River. 75 years ago, the property consisted of 140 acres of land, most of it right around this area here. Now in 2019, the sanctuary boasts over 700 acres of land and 4 miles of trails.
Year after year, it's been a steady, long work of 75 years of protecting parcel after parcel. Each parcel, 5 acres, 10 acres here and there, takes a lot of work working with landowners, working with funders, with donors to make that happen. So each bit of acreage that we protect along the way, that takes time, and which is why it's taken 75 years to get to this point of 700 plus acres.
This section here along the Mill River is what's known as the Floodplain Forest, which means that it's subject to periodic over-the-bank flooding and cycles of erosion and deposition. It serves as a buffer to the surrounding land, as it did most recently in 2011, though the Great Flood of 1936 proved that there are some limits to just how much buffering it can do. But it's signs like these that exemplify how much Arcadia puts a premium on education for its visitors.
Education is a huge part of what we do at Arcadia. Arcadia Nature Preschool is one of the first nature preschools in the country. It's 40 plus years old. It's an incredible program, 3 staff that run that program. We have a large summer camp program. People know it throughout the valley that connect kids to nature all summer. We have vacation week programs. We have school programs where we go to schools and field trips where schools come to us. And now we have a large climate change program.
Evidence of the climate change education can be found on these informational placards scattered along the paths. Arcadia has been engaging area middle school and high school students in climate science classes with their sights set on a youth climate summit for them to create their own action plans, which they can then implement in their communities. While the visitor center is in Easthampton, a majority of the property is in Northampton, so residents from both sides get free access. The rest of us either pay a fee or get a Mass Audubon membership, but the money is put to good use. The trails here are clean and clearly marked in all directions. There's a great view from nearly all vantage points, and when hiking in the wintertime, privacy doesn't appear to be an issue. The Mill River is certainly a focal point, and since it flows east to west, it helps visitors not lose their sense of direction. It also leads out to the Oxbow, which can be found just on the other side of this bridge on Old Springfield Road. Traveling north over the bridge, hikers will find a landscape completely different from the deep woods, known as the Arcadia Meadows.
It's large grasslands that we maintain for grassland birds. And there's a couple old dirt roads. There's no trails, but there's old dirt roads that go through there that you can walk along. There's miles of old roads as well. So it's a whole different landscape and a lovely view. And if you're a birder, you'll find all sorts of neat birds out there.
The staff at Arcadia wants visitors to develop a connection to nature as one of their top priorities. Members and day hikers should consider themselves stewards of these woods just as much as the people who work here, and that means following the rules posted on the signs. This includes not littering, something that seems like it should be obvious, but isn't in some cases.
We're interested in connecting people to nature for a few different reasons. One, it's good for them. It's good for the community. Many studies have shown that. It's good for us to be out and connected to nature. But more importantly, we want people to be connected to this landscape so that they will help to protect it and to preserve places like this forever.